Patient is a virtue.
Patient is a virgin.
People suffering from the effects of mental illness are often labeled by themselves and the community. Sometimes this labeling starts at birth. Medication may produce the visual side effects that can stigmatize. For instance, hand tremors, shuffling, and drooling are caused by meds. Help us remove these labels by understanding that these people are more than their affliction. Like petals on a flower, mental illness may simply be a single petal. We all belong.
Mental health to me is very sad, and I think that people should get more involved with people that have mental illness so they can understand it and help out in the community.
Well, after curling, when I was clowning around out on the ice and going to a couple other sheets and saying something funny, and when my friend, who also comes to the center, when we got together the next day, she said when her husband, who curls, got home, she said that one of the other curlers said, "Holy moly, Sherry's high as a kite tonight," or hyper, hyper, hyper. And the one other thing that stands out in my mind is when I had my nervous breakdown way back in '81, I have one brother-in-law that could not come and visit me in the hospital because I had had a nervous breakdown. I was a mental patient.
Mental health for me, I think it's really taboo. A lot of people don't realize, and they're scared of it because they don't understand what it means.
I was labeled in the past when I was at the hospital with a depression, and the people thought I was just in need of attention, which wasn't the fact. I couldn't see anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was just trying to hide away from them. That's basically what happened at the hospital.
Okay, mental health to me is just a part of our health, and unfortunately it has negative connotations in society and scares people.
The happiest moment of my life is when I remarried the second time. I found my husband, who's my angel, my protector, my oak. He is there for me all the time. He gives me a lot of love and gifts and comprehension, and he's there when I'm sick, and he gets the help that I need, and it's fantastic.
Mental health to me is the last acceptable prejudice in the healthcare system. I've found that in the past, a lot of serious medical conditions are misdiagnosed because they think it's all in your mind.
Okay, I've been labeled that when I became ill that the family was concerned about me, but they didn't include me in their, in their conversations, and I didn't think that was fair. That I think when they were talking about my illness that I should have been included.
When I was younger, I had polio. I was about 7 years old. And when I was younger, I used to be called all kind of names because people didn't understand in those days about people handicapped like polio, things like that. And I felt like people used to tease me and laugh at me. I never had many friends when I was younger because no kids wanted to play with me because the way I was.
The happiest time in my life was when I graduated from nursing, and all my family was there and they were proud of me, and I was very happy.
The happiest time in my life is when I do stuff for people. I do a lot of fundraising, like the Northern Star Mental Health. I did a lot of fundraising for them, yard sales, cooking. My job is cooking. I do the interlink for about 75, 80 people, sandwiches there about 3-4 times a year, and it makes me feel happy when I'm doing something like that. I guess in the kitchen, if I have a spoon in my hand, I'm happy, you know.
Mental illness. I hope that the mental illness gets abolished. Just because I hope people can overcome their mental illness. Like if you're scared of a tree, walk up to a tree and give it a hug.
I've been labeled in the past when my son calls me a retard. I wish he'd understand what I'm going through. He doesn't understand. A lot of people don't understand what mental illness is, and they should, because a lot of people have it. And we're no different than anybody else. The only thing is we have a mental illness, which is just like as if somebody had cancer or something like that. Same thing.
I had an accident and about 8 years ago, and it left me with my memory problem, and people labeled me as brain dead. So I went back to school and I started doing the best I could in school, and I was happy going to school because I was learning different things that I'd never done before, and everybody labeled me as if I was brain dead and I didn't know too much.
The happiest time in my life is when I had my kids, and on Christmas mornings and Easters, and when they get up and they're all excited, looking forward to it, and when they get their report cards and they've passed, it makes me feel real happy for them because they're really excited.
The happiest time in my life was when I was with my sister. Louder. And at Christmas time, I always enjoyed Christmas time with my sister, and now I don't have Christmas with her, so I miss her very much, but we still keep in contact. And when I went for a ride on a horse was my happiest time too, because I love horses. Yeah.
We all